Now that we've loaded all the data through the API, all of the headlines, what we'd like to now do is visualize them and also segment them into news or other categories. So one thing I just noticed that I hadn't loaded earlier was a very important package that we're going to use extensively from here on is the ggplot2, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and load that library up. And so that's all loaded. And we're going to go ahead and visualize this. So we've got all NYT search and then this pipe. We're going to group by another attribute that is the type of material. And we'll see the different types that it has come back through this API for us. We're going to use the dplayer package version of summarize. So by type, and there'll be several different types, we're simply going to count them up. We're going to make a new column so that we're not looking at the count. We're going to look at a bar chart later, but soon. We're going to look at the percent rather than the count. And then we'll have our ggplot of our bar chart, and it's going to display the percent. And it'll color it by type of material, and that's what we will have. So we can check that code out. It's all code we've seen before. So I'll go ahead and run it. And what we will see here is I'll extend this out just a little bit and kind of let it catch up. But you can see here that we've got news articles, and that's by far the majority of them, but we also have summary, special report types, review types, op-ed types, correction types, chronology types. We've got all these other kinds. And so what I'd like to do is instead of having all of these different types, to just have two types, news and everything else. And that everything else I'm going to call other. So that's what we're going to do next is to essentially say if it's news, then keep it news. And if it's not news, then let's relabel it as other. And so we've seen this if-else function before, but that's what we're going to use. We're going to create a new column called news or other here. And then we're going to say if-else. What am I going to put in that column? I'm going to say if-else all NYT search, and we're going to look at the type of material. And if that type of material is news, then we want to return news. Else, if it's not news, meaning it's op-ed or review or summary or whatever, I'm going to return the word other. And that's what we're going to have. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we can see here, I'll say all NYT search. Now we should have this thing called news or other. And we'll see in there that it's all news or it's other. It's been relabeled that. So fantastic. That is that's the idea there. So now what we'd like to do is revisualize this. So notice this time we're going to not group by type. We're going to regroup by news or other. We're going to, again, summarize. We're going to look at the percent, and we're going to make that a bar chart. And so I will run that guy. And notice we don't have all those different types now. What we have is we can see what we're dealing with. It's not a 50-50 split. It's about 74, 73, 74% news and about 27%, 26, 27% other. So, so that's what we're trying to classify with here. And when we come back, we'll start getting more into how we're going to break that headline up into words and to start implementing our classifier. Now that we have loaded our data and we have now classified them or labeled them as news or other. Great job. I'll see you in the next one.